This day in sports history. And welcome back to This Day in Sports History, a member of the Sports History Network, where you can find more podcasts, including some new ones that have been added recently, and more info at sportshistorynetwork.com. It's February 3rd, and on this day, the cornerstone of a dynasty was laid. MJ was ejected from a basketball game for the only time in his career. And Major League Baseball showed Marge Schott the door. Those stories and a few others, as well as a non-sports fun fact at the end about procrastination and why you shouldn't feel bad about it. I'll kick things off right after this. Hey, real quick, you've heard me talk a lot about the Sterling Soap Company over the past few months, and if you haven't tried out their soaps, I get it. It's not easy changing up your routine. But let me just say, if you give them a try, I'm nearly 100% certain you will have zero regrets. They carry not only bar soap, but shave soap, liquid body soap, body lotions, beard balm, lip balm, and a lot more. Plus, there are myriad scents to choose from. Their products are made with natural ingredients and scented oils, and they are committed to being environmentally conscious. And I always get a handwritten note on my packing slip, so I know it's been checked before shipping, and it's a nice little human touch in a world that seems to be going away from that. Give Sterling Soap a try today at sterlingsoap.com. It's hard to believe that during the Bill Belichick era that the Patriots were ever underdogs going into a Super Bowl. But just as New England heads into Super Bowl XXXVI this weekend as anywhere between a 3.5 to a 5-point underdog to Seattle, the Pats were also underdogs on this day back in 2002, their first Super Bowl under Belichick. And they weren't just dogs, they were 14-point underdogs to the St. Louis Rams and the greatest show on turf. Now, that line was understandable. The Rams had the best offense in the league, scoring the most points and racking up the most yards in the regular season, and they had the third best defense in the NFL. At this point, the Patriots were a bunch of no-names. They only had one Pro Bowler that season, safety Lawyer Malloy. They were led by Tom Brady, the guy who'd started the season as the fourth quarterback on the depth chart, but who'd come on in relief of an injured Drew Bledsoe in the second game of the year, led the team to 11 wins in their last 14 regular season games to make the playoffs. But Belichick did have a decision to make before the Super Bowl. Bledsoe had returned to the team in November, and after Brady injured his ankle against the Steelers in the AFC Championship game, Bledsoe took the reins back and guided the Pats to the win. So, who to start in the Super Bowl, Bledsoe or Brady? Of course, he opted for Brady to start the game, and how cool was the kid before the game? He was so relaxed, he took a short nap in the locker room before kickoff. Despite having only the 24th best defense in the NFL, the Patriots held the nitro-fueled Rams to just 3 points through the first 21 minutes, and used that defense to put their first points on the board.
Ball pass to let it go, picked off. Ty Law down the sidelines, touchdown.
Law's pick six gave New England a 7-3 lead. Brady threw a touchdown to David Patton, and Adam Vinatieri added a field goal to give the Pats a 17-3 lead heading into the fourth quarter. It was not until 5.5 minutes had elapsed in the final frame that the most prolific offense in the league that season finally broke the plane for a touchdown when Kurt Warner scored from 2 yards out. Then they tied the game with a minute and a half to play when Warner hooked up with Ricky Prohl for a 26-yard touchdown strike. After the ensuing kickoff, it was up to Brady to put the Patriots in a position to win it. Working without any timeouts, he completed 5 passes to get New England to the 31-yard line with 7 seconds left. Vinatieri booted the 48-yard game winner with no time left, and the Patriots had shocked the world with their 20-17 win. It was the first time the Super Bowl was ever won on the final play. On this day 6 years later, the Patriots were now a dynasty, having won 3 Super Bowls by this point, but in 2008 they had a different goal in mind when they came to Super Bowl 42. Perfection. The Patriots were 18-0, and they were trying to become the first team since the 1972 Dolphins to run the table on the season. They were 12-point favorites over a Giants team that had gone through the regular season 10-6. The Giants had won their first playoff game in 7 years when they beat the Buccaneers in Tampa in the wild card game. They'd beaten the Cowboys and the Packers on the road by narrow margins. So 3 road playoff games left some wondering if they had anything left in the tank for the seemingly unstoppable Patriots. The Giants scored first. After winning the coin toss, they went on a slow march down the field in a 16-play, 77-yard, 10-minute drive that included 4 third-down conversions and finally resulted in 3 points. The Patriots scored a touchdown in the second quarter, and it was 7-3 Pats at the break. This game really came down to what happened in the last 3 minutes. Tom Brady found Randy Moss for his second touchdown of the day, and it was 14-10 New England with 2:42 left. The Giants' final drive started on their own 17-yard line and featured one of the most memorable catches in Super Bowl history.
3rd down and 5. The Giants from their 44-yard line. Manning works out of the shotgun. He takes it. Facing pressure. He's in trouble. He's spun around. He's able to get away. Looks to throw. He does downfield, and a leaping catch is made down at the 25. What a play. David Tyree comes up with the ball. What a play by Eli Manning. It was
Of course, you've probably seen this play a million times by this point. Tyree pinning the ball against his helmet to maintain control, while Rodney Harrison is twisting him like a pretzel, trying to dislodge the football. It's just one of those all-time great catches and great moments in Super Bowl history. But the Patriots were furious. They thought they had Manning wrapped up and neutralized to the point where the referees should have blown the play dead. But Manning's Houdini act made that play possible. The Giants also converted a 4th down on the drive to set up the game winner. And here's Joe Buck with the call for Fox that night.
Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Eli won MVP honors, and after Peyton had won the Super Bowl MVP the year before, the Manning brothers became the first brother duo to win Super Bowl MVP awards. Michael Jordan was, without a doubt, one of the fiercest competitors to play any sport on this planet. But no matter how heated a game got, he always seemed to keep his cool, right? Except for one time. On this day in 1992, Jordan was ejected from an NBA game for the first and only time in his career. The Bulls were on the road at Utah, and the game went to a 3rd overtime before it would be decided. But really, there probably should have been a 4th OT. Let's pick up the action with 10 seconds left in the 3rd overtime. Bulls down 2.
Michael Jordan takes it across. 10 to go. No shot clock. Time left in the game. Jordan lets it go and ties the game. 4.9 seconds remaining. Jeff Malone. Malone trying to beat the clock. Jordan got a piece of it and a foul. With 5 seconds on the clock. Whoa, brother. Phil going absolutely berserk. Michael not happy either. They drive down the side. MJ hit a basket with 4 points. There's a technical on Jordan, and he's out. And Jordan is thrown out of the game.
So if you watch that play in real time, it does look like Jordan stripped the ball cleanly from Malone's hands. And then it looks like the ball goes out of bounds off Malone. It really should have been Bulls ball with a half second left and a chance to win, or at least for it to go to another OT. Now, it's not like Jordan didn't get his share of calls throughout his career. He certainly got some deferential treatment, but in this instance, he was right. But it stood as the only time he was ever ejected from a game. He finished the night with 34 points and 13 rebounds. Malone hit all 3 free throws, and the Jazz won 126-123. On this day in 1993, Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott was suspended from baseball and fined $25,000. Now, Marge was born in Cincinnati back in 1928. And she said she was a fan of the Reds for most of her life. After her industrialist husband died in 1968, she inherited millions of dollars and multiple car dealerships. She bought a minority interest in the Reds in 1981, and then in 1984 spent $11 million to buy controlling interest in the club, making her the managing general partner. She was an outspoken owner and highly visible, choosing to sit in a regular box seat at Riverfront Stadium instead of an owner's box. She endeared herself to Reds fans by keeping ticket and concession prices down, but she also did not like paying players, especially if they were injured. She griped about paying Jose Rio $3 million to sit on his butt after he injured his elbow. She famously refused to pay for Eric Davis's surgery after he lacerated his kidney in Game 4 of the 1990 World Series, which the Reds won in a sweep over the Oakland A's. And that injury actually ended up shortening Davis's career. She was well known for not spending money. Schott didn't like paying scouts or even hiring them, saying they don't do anything except sit around and watch baseball games. She shut down customer service and community relations offices within the club. Sports writer Rick Riley wrote an article about her, saying she would rummage through garbage cans to see if scrap paper was written on both sides. She demanded lights be turned off in offices, even if the person was just going down the hall and coming right back. She wanted the thermostat turned to 55 degrees at 5 o'clock every night. She made baseball decisions even though she didn't know many of the players' names. And then there was the racism, which is what many remember about her and which led to her suspension on this day. It started with the firing of former Reds controller Tim Sabo. Now, Sabo overheard and then testified to limited partners that Marge had called players Dave Parker and Eric Davis $1 million, followed by a racial epithet. Sabo was fired a short time later, in which he sued Schott for wrongful termination due not only to his testimony, but his displeasure with Schott's unwritten but well-understood rule against hiring black people. It also emerged that Schott kept a Nazi armband at home and had said about a Jewish employee, "Those sneaky Jews are all alike." Oakland A's executive assistant Sharon Jones heard Schott say on an owner's conference call that she would rather have a trained monkey working for her than a black person. But, of course, instead of black person, she used the same racial epithet. After meeting for 8 hours in Chicago, Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig made the announcement that Schott had been reprimanded and censured in the strongest terms for her use of racially and ethnically insensitive language. Ms. Schott's practice of using language that is racially and ethnically offensive has brought substantial disrepute and embarrassment to the game, and it is not in the best interest of baseball. Selig then added that the council voted to suspend Schott by a unanimous vote of 10-0 and fined her $25,000, the largest allowable at the time. A few of her players supported her during the turmoil, even Eric Davis.
It's unfortunate that it happened because, she's not a bad person. I've had some difficult times with her, but, I've learned to live, forget, don't hold no grudges and stuff like that. That's why I'm back in this uniform.
Her ban was not immediate, though. It did not go into effect until March 1st, and she was reinstated November 1st. That was not the end of her controversial hot takes, though. In 1998, during an interview with ESPN, she praised Hitler, after which Major League Baseball brought the hammer down harder, forcing her to give up day-to-day control through the 1998 season. She sold the franchise in April of '99, in large part to what started on this day back in 1993. Also on this day in 1876, former baseball pitcher Albert Spalding started a new sporting goods store with his brother in Chicago with an $800 investment. Now, in today's money, that's about $25,000. That led to more stores and eventually into manufacturing sporting goods equipment such as baseball gloves, baseballs, basketballs, volleyballs, golf balls, and a whole lot more. No doubt if you have played any ball sport in your lifetime, you have played with a Spalding at one time or another. And time now for today's That's Got Nothing to Do with Sports fun fact. Now, if you are a procrastinator like me, then take solace in the fact that Leonardo da Vinci was as well. You see, most of his paintings were left incomplete. Some point to the lack of eyebrows on the Mona Lisa as evidence that his most famous painting was never finished. That's all I've got for you today. Come on back tomorrow for another edition of This Day in Sports History. This has been an original Thrive Suite production.